All right, so I was able to get some bench in before my evening clients and before the evening group. So today we'll be helping Jackie out with her squat, and she'll be back in wraps, so that's going to be fun. And then I'll also try to highlight and show some of the other people that I coach. So typically every Friday night and every Wednesday night, I have a group of lifters that I coach, and so on Wednesdays we bench, and then on Fridays we either squat or deadlift, just depending where they're at in their programming. But either way, it's a nice way for everybody to kind of like push each other, to be able to be there to support each other, and then also to be able to have me to help out and to be able to kind of keep a watchful eye and make sure that everything's going well. But more importantly, also to make sure that we auto-regulate, which I think when it comes to coaching is probably the most important thing. Like, programming is great, but things change, things happen. Sometimes we go backwards, sometimes we go forward. So I always like to keep an eye on that. So that's kind of like, I'll try to clip in a little bit of the group and kind of what it looks like on Friday nights, but that's more or less the idea. Like, usually we do rotations and everybody kind of has like their own programming that they do. But I'll clip all in this vlog, and hopefully it comes out well.
What happened?
It just slipped.
All right, so today we're starting our Saturday morning, well, now it's afternoon, with a trip to, I think we're gonna go to Home Goods, and then maybe Art Van Furniture, and where else? IKEA. So basically, you know, we've owned this gym for 5 years, and we haven't really put a lot of emphasis on taking care of ourselves and kind of taking care of things at home. So I think it's time, you know, to go ahead and like start making some purchases. And now that we're also kind of bouncing back a little bit from like COVID and the shutdown, and like some of our clients got us some really nice wedding gifts. So you know, one of my clients is really like a mom to me, and she's like, Sergio, you need to go out and actually buy some things for yourself. So that's what we're gonna do today. How you feel?
Annoyed, exhausted, overwhelmed, all of the above.
Well, it's funny because they made us, I don't know if you can see it. It's funny because they made us like wait outside, and it seemed like they had like a limit on how many people could like go in at a time. But then when you actually went in, it was like really, really full. And then all the aisles, like there's no room for anybody to walk. And then they make you wear the mask. So then you're kind of like, if you're like us and kind of have like social anxiety, like it's not really the best combination to not be able to breathe. And then to have like people on top of you, like literally. So not too fun, but
Packed.
yeah, it was like
Packed.
like,
And there's like arrows so people know which way to walk, and no one was following anything. So there's just like people everywhere. It was overwhelming.
yeah, so we got some stuff, but like part of me is like, maybe I'll go on Amazon for a few other things. It's just like obnoxious. Hopefully the next store isn't like too packed.
Probably will be.
Yeah. Alright, so today is the next day, and we spent all day yesterday basically shopping. And so when we were doing our shopping, our biggest thing was to focus on kind of encompassing that minimalist idea, right? That idea that you don't need a lot of things, you just need things that are necessities, that are functional, and that are going to improve your day-to-day life. So when we were doing our shopping, there were a lot of things that we would ask ourselves, like, do we need this or do we want this? And so I feel like we pretty much like everything that we bought were things that we want, or
Things that we need.
things that we needed. She had to like pick a few things out from the cart that I kind of do this thing where I kind of like have a vision in my head, and so I just start throwing like things in the cart. And so
Yeah, I'm the complete opposite. So I like to do research before I buy something, and I've always been that way. It's like kind of an annoying habit sometimes because I don't ever like to just like impulsively shop. I like to like look at something beforehand, like look at reviews and like be sure that that's what I want. So then I go into the store already knowing what I want. And he kept like picking things like, well, like this would be great for the like dog food, for example. And I'm like, well, we already have one and we don't know how well that's gonna look, and like what if the quality sucks? And so I kept like taking things out. And essentially we just wanted to make our kitchen less cluttered and find better ways to organize things. So we did actually end up getting rid of like just old containers that we don't use, like old coffee mugs, because we had way too many mugs and obviously we always use the same ones. And we just found like tools to help us just organize better and make our lives easier essentially.
yeah, and so like the idea behind minimalism is, like I said, just using like whatever you need and nothing extra, nothing more. And like I always think of like Fight Club, which is kind of funny, but like there's a scene where he's just looking through like all these like magazines, and there's like all this stuff, and like I think like the internal monologue is something along the lines of like, we work jobs that we hate to buy things that we don't need, you know? And so like we've always been like people that don't really like buy more than we need. Like we don't need a million pairs of shoes, we don't need like a million pairs of this or that. Like we're very straightforward with our shopping and with the way that we do things. So beyond maybe just a little bit of the decorations that we purchased, like I feel like everything else was a necessity for us, and it really helped a lot. My favorite part was probably like getting like a sort of like bar cart, and so we just had like a lot of counter space like being like unused because we had all our like liquor there. And so we've been getting like a lot of like wedding gifts, and it's just been taking up a lot of space. So it was really nice to be able to like put that to the side. I know for her, she liked a lot of the greenery, which I think in the minimalism concept, and of course you can change it up, but with the concept is like there's a lot of greens to kind of like bring things to life a little bit more. So I know she's been wanting like a lot of plants in the house, which at first I was like, but I like it. It does definitely give it like a pop of like life and a little bit of warmth to the house. So I'm actually really happy with the kitchen. It feels really good. It feels really clean. It feels like you can come in here and get what you need and, you know, do it like as simple as possible and as fast as possible, which is pretty much what we need. So we're really happy. But if you enjoyed this vlog, you know, definitely like subscribe, give us a like, drop a comment. I'm still kind of experimenting with what we're doing with this channel. I'm not really quite sure yet what direction I want to take it, because, you know, as a gym owner, I think there's just certain things that, you know, like I do on a regular basis, and I know there's a lot of things that she does on a regular basis as well that, you know, kind of have a work-life, you know, like they're just kind of intertwined, you know? So I don't want to just include all gym stuff, but I also don't want to just include like just all our life stuff either. So it'll be definitely like a blend, you know? So thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.